Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is for our final project for Islamic Institution. Okay, for our group member Ahmad Miza Mukri, myself, I Atika Yana, Farah Syazwani, Nurko Zaimi Najiha and Muhammad Amar Ahmad. Okay, next.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Najiha. Now I want to present about the company. This company is PEQS Consultant Sdn Bhd. This company registered under Lembaga Ukur Bahan Malaysia. It have a ISO certificate on April 2011. The objective is to provide professional quantity surveyor and construction construction service and other related service for civil engineering and building project, both to the public and private sector. Next slide. The background of the company is a mission and vision to become the landing construction company. Why the delivery project that consistently extend international standard and provide exceptional customer certificate. Mission to provide the high level of the service in the construction industry whilst offering supervisor government to every project can be handled. Next. The intro of the company is a quantity surveyor at the Menara Kelah and the Menara Kelah, Jalan Ipoh, Kuala Lumpur. The company is established in January 1994. Next. The scope of the service is nine point. The first is facility study, financial planning, cost planning, tendering, procedure and documentation, valuation and interim payment, construction and cost control, final account, contractual claim, pre-qualification of contractor. The organisation of the company is the first director Tuan Haji Ismail, project manager Wong Mei Kwan, the quantity surveyor Cik Nur Syamil Syafiqah, the engineer Nur Hazrah, the admin Cik Man Kwan. The detail of the organisation activity is cost estimate, project coordinated, managing financial, time, payment to stakeholders. Next, I will pass the net presenter.
Okay, right now I'm going to present about the use of Islamic institution, principle and characteristic in the industry or any organization. There are several applications that can be applied into the organization. One of them is selection of employee. So every organization or industry must have select a good employee as the Allah-fearing attribute is valued because it will ensure that it carries out its duty with amanah, devotion and perfection. It is also narrated that a group of people came to Prophet SAW and request leadership. As the Prophet SAW said, we, by Allah, would not judge anybody who requests it or is greedy for it. Next is specialization and division of labor. In the context of specialization and clear demarcation of duties, one can see the application of several Islamic principles of administration such as knowledge or ilmu, justice or adalah, and brotherhood or ukhuwah. It is a fact that job allocation should be done properly in ensuring effective performance amongst the employee for the tasks entrusted to them, and in ensuring the target set by the management can be achieved accordingly toward the success of organization. Last but not least is remuneration of the employees. Islamic principle of educational administration has put into effect that any agreement about payment or salary should be included, such as practiced in spell in any contract of employment. The payment must be defined in advance by the employer to avoid any confusion or argument between both parties. This will create consideration and ensure that the employee's work is according to a well-defined terms of agreement. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Next slide is strategy used by industry. First point is strategy. Appropriate intellectual capital and carefully handpick strategy relationship, product or service in high demand within the market. Second point is benefit, protect brand and mitigate risk. Purpose driven is a competitive advantage, growing market for sustainable goods. Third is ways to sustain business, top talent, operational efficiency, prospecting the right client. Fourth, challenges, not making enough money, consumer expectation, regulatory pressure. Next, I will pass to next presenter.
Okay, let's move on to the next slide, which is the implementation of Islamic management principle tools in the organization. As we can see here, we have a 4-point, which is justice, honesty, taqwa, and ihsan. Let's move to first point. This is justice. Justice is described by 2 words in Quran, which is adil and qis. Adil means equity and balance, whereas qis refer to the highest level of justice. For example, prioritize the female worker right. It is very important to our beloved women, such as paid maternity leave and give priority to pregnant women. Also, place a premium on workplace safety and well-being. Next is honesty. Honesty is doing the right thing, saying the truth, and performing the task according to the specification, even if the action is inconvenient and requires more work. For example, separate defective and low quality products from the shelf and perform tasks as determined on time for the execution of tasks. Next is taqwa. In Islam, the word taqwa means watching your deeds as if you can see Allah. Because even if you do not see Allah, He can see you. So the example of implementation of it is keep all activities according to Sharia standards, such as prioritize Salah in the congregation, in the office, and practicing sunnah in all daily routines like reciting doa and zikr while completing the task. Last is ihsan. It describes an action that benefit person other than those from whom that action proceed without any obligation, an issue from the consideration for human dignity. The example of implementation is perform tasks exceeding what is required and prioritize cooperation in the workplace. Also be careful in the performing the task to meet the standard consistently and also tolerate the execution of a task and do not cheat and work carelessly. That's all. Next slide.
The next slide is the effect of the implementation of Islamic Institution principle. The principle of Islamic Institution have a beneficial impact both on the performance of employees and the business as a whole. Both conversational management and Islamic management comparable accomplish their goals. Second point is because Muslims consider their job to be an act of worship, the concept of etika was implemented in this company by both the management and the employees. The commitment level, readiness to make sacrifice and loyalty of an individual are all impacted by the principle and practice of an Islamic institution.
Okay, next, the strategy and preparation needed by graduate to meet with their challenge and difficulties. Okay, first, encourage teamwork. The capacity to collaboration effectively with others is one of the most important skills for today's student to acquire before entering the workforce. Okay, next, the discipline, knowledge, and intellectual breadth. For graduates are equipped with uh, through knowledge and understanding of their respective subject area, the ability to engage with many schools of thought, and the capacity to apply their knowledge in practice, including within multidisciplinary or multi-professional contexts. Okay, next, third point, make connection before graduation. Okay, before you graduate, get a head start on creating as many connections as possible in the field that interests you the most. Okay, not only will this increase your chance of getting hired, but people who know someone already working in the field frequently find themselves in more desirable solution than those who respond to job advertisement. Okay, lastly, find a mentor. Discovering a mentor who can help guide you through the earlier stage of your career and beyond is the finest approach to speed up the progression of your professional life. When conducting interviews with potential employers, it is important to understand the management style of the people with whom you will be collaborating. Okay, thank you. That's all for us.